Guns and gun control are frequently debated every single day in the United States of America, and I'm here to give you my spin on things on the next episode of Lambert on the Left. There are over 300 million guns in this country. That's nearly one gun for every man, woman, and child. Over 13,000 people died last year as a result of gun violence, and 27,000 were injured. In 2015, of the 52,798 incidents of gun violence, only about 1,300 were in, quote-unquote, self-defense. Self-defense is the main reason people say they want guns. Ironically enough, statistically speaking, you're less safe if there is a gun in your house. Pro-gun people say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, I say, sure, people kill people with guns. If guns don't kill people, then why doesn't the military arm itself to the teeth with people for combat if people kill people? Guns are most likely the only object in the United States not regulated for safety. They can be sold privately at gun shows and bypass any background checks because private sales do not require a background check. This is what's known as the gun loophole, and it's an easy way for criminals and psychos to acquire guns. According to a CBS and New York Times poll, 57% of Americans are in favor of stricter gun laws, and 88% of Americans are in favor of a federal law requiring background checks on all potential gun buyers. Although a majority of Americans feel this way, hardly anything has been done recently about gun control until President Barack Obama put forth an executive action. This executive action broadens background checks for certain firearms and increases the strength of federal enforcement of the nation's current gun laws, particularly an online sale of guns. I think the main reason we have so much gun violence in this country is that we have a constitutional amendment that is vastly misinterpreted. I'm talking, of course, about the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment reads, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It was written in 18th century colonial America, where the killing technology was just a tiny bit different than it is today. The worst they had back then was a musket. This amendment basically guarantees people the right to protect themselves from burglars and perhaps a foreign invasion from another country. Now, I can understand owning a handgun or a rifle for self-defense, but why does someone need a full arsenal full of automatic weapons to protect themselves from a burglar? A foreign invasion is not likely, and is not even a solid argument for gun control, unless you're in Texas and you think Obama's coming to take your guns. The constitutional right to a gun, combined with easy access, lack of mental health care, as well as an insane gun culture, all unite to create the tremendous amounts of gun violence in America. In my opinion, I think the Second Amendment should be repealed. Now, that might sound crazy, but that's what I believe. What is the point of the Second Amendment? Why do we need it in 2016? It's an excuse for gun manufacturers to continue to make profits off of the death of thousands of Americans each year. I think gun control would definitely be effective here. Actually, it was effective in other countries. Let's take Australia, for example. 12 days following a 1996 mass shooting in Australia, Prime Minister John Howard signed a gun control bill that brought back nearly 1/5 of the country's guns. Homicides by firearms dropped 59% between 1995 and 2006. Suicides dropped 65%. Robberies dropped, and home invasions failed to increase. Although Australia is on the complete other side of the world, we have a lot in common with them. They are an English-speaking former British colony that nearly wiped out their indigenous people. Sounds familiar. The bottom line is, the more guns we have, the more likely homicides and suicides will take place. So, if we want gun violence to decrease, all we need is to repeal the Second Amendment, less guns nationwide, better mental health care, and to stop being so damn paranoid all the time.